Hans, and it's time for another episode of Instant Noodle Recipe Time. This is the show where I show you what to do with your instant noodle. Today we've got one that's made in South Korea. This is packaged for the U.S. market. This is Paldo with Gompaghetti. So Gompang is a kind of a creamy beef noodle soup, and it's quite good. I recommend it. Well, Gompaghetti is basically a dry version of that. So that's what we got for you. And there's a little bit of an issue with the instructions, but we're good. So let's see, we got a flaky flake and we got a powder. First we go with the flaky flake. That's gonna go in. Here comes flaky flake. Oh, look at that. Come on, flaky flake. Let's dump you on in. And here's the noodle. This goes for 4.5 minutes. I mean, it's a big sucker. So let's drop that on in and allow these 4.5 minutes to happen. There's some little bits that didn't make it in. They didn't make it. I'm going to try to do this so it doesn't boil over. So, yeah, tomorrow is my brother's, what does he call it, his Western birthday? Because he's Jewish and he uses a different calendar. So the dates are interpreted differently. I mean, today is still today, you know, but anyways. So tomorrow will be my wife and I's talk-iversary, which is something we celebrate every year and hold very near and dear to our hearts. So let's see. December 22nd, 2009, I was in the middle of a divorce from someone I can still consider to be pretty gross, but you know, whatever. And then Kit turned out to be in the same situation. And we went online and we met each other. And within let's see, this is the 21st. 10 days later, we had already spent at least 100 hours on the phone talking to each other and getting to know each other, and it was pretty quick for us. We got married in what, April? No, we moved in together in April. We got married in July of 2010. Early July. First week of July. So, yeah. But we celebrate our talk-iversary every year. She sent me a message on Christmas Eve, or Christmas morning, asking me if I'd like to spend New Year's with her. And I was like, yeah. People around me were saying things like, "Oh, you should be careful. You should probably stay alone for a while. You should probably do this and that." I wouldn't do that. That's the one I got the most and that resonated with me. Well, that's not something I would do. It's like, well, I'm not you. So I did. And I even had a counselor at that point. And she said, "Oh, these online things rarely work. You should really, really avoid getting too involved with people online and all this stuff." I'm guessing that was like from personal experience. Maybe she didn't have something that went all that well. But long story short, this is what, the 14th year since we spoke. So, but yeah, I went down there and we met at the airport. And it was kind of like one of those movie moments where you're standing in the middle of a big crowd and everybody's rushing each way and another. We just like made out for like what seemed like 5 minutes in the middle of a huge crowd. And it was great. And we ended up going, the first thing we had to do was go to her mom's place so she could, so she was like, you have to bring him here to make sure he's, you know, I need to make sure he's not like some kind of crazy axe murderer or something, you know. And I was like, well, you know, I could buy an axe while I'm down here, but, you know, down in California. But no axe was bought, no murders were done. And then she took me to this place called Nation's Burgers, where we got burgers, and then we went to there's a wind farm, you know, wind power farm on the outside of Livermore. And we went there, and it was cool. We started eating our burgers and listening to music, kind of tailgating it. And then the security guy shows up and like shines his light on us and gets all unhappy about us being there. So the joke is that she tried to get me arrested the first time we met each other. So that's funny. We laugh at that. And then the other thing is, but yeah, so the first time we met up in person, she tried to get me, she almost got me arrested. And but it gets better, because then is the other thing, which is pretty cool, that she got me a Ancestry DNA kit a few years ago. And that I you know, I always had this joke that maybe I'm part Asian, you know. That'd be interesting, but I'd need a DNA kit to find out. And as it turned out, I'm not, but I had no idea, but I have a full brother, like same mom and dad, full brother, that was adopted out, and he always wanted to find his birth parents, and lo and behold, doing the DNA kit, I found one of his sons who found me and was like, you look a lot like my father, you need to talk to my father. So I talked to his father. I thought he was in New York, he was in Jerusalem. So crazy business. So what do I have this saucer of milk here for? Well, I'll tell you what you can do. Instead of water, you can use milk. You're supposed to add 50 milliliters. Now, the instructions mention that 50 milliliters is 10 tablespoons. This is not true. 10 teaspoons at 5 mils each would be 50 milliliters. 10 tablespoons, which are 15 apiece, would be 150. But instead of trying to do 10 teaspoons of water, I'm going to do math. So here's 15, 30, 45, and then we're going to use the teaspoon, which is 5 mils. And there is our 50 milliliters of liquid. We are going to discard this milk. Like, oh, aren't you just going to drink it? I'm not a big fan of drinking milk. I'll have a nip of chocolate milk once in a while. And I don't even like that. It's like melted chocolate ice cream to me. But the idea is this will make it more creamy. I used that milk actually because we never have regular whole milk. For my daughter's birthday, we made homemade chocolate ice cream and cookies. So that's what that milk was partially for. And for Christmas, my wife mentioned she wants to make an apple crisp, and I'll make some vanilla ice cream, homemade, to go along with that. So I think that's going to work out well. We're going to have ham, scalloped potatoes, So yeah. All right, so this is Gompaghetti. And this sounds, in theory, to be something that would be good. What's interesting, too, is it mentions adding, I think it mentioned adding spring onion, but it also mentioned adding bacon. Even though it's supposed to be like a beef-flavored one. I don't think there's, I don't know, we'll see. Thick noodle, cheers. Ooh. That's freaking good. I think a lot of people would really like this. I would say another thing that would go good in this would be mushrooms. Wow. Yeah, folks, that's good. I will say that right now, that is flavorific. All right, wow. Yeah, that'll get a 5-star. That's really good. It's sweet, it's creamy. It's the gom, it's the spaghetti. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Ooh, the natives are gonna start getting cranky with me unless I make some lunch for them soon. We got one more to do, which will include a mukbang. Now, it mentioned adding bacon, but I'm just going to cut up some pieces chashu and put them hither and thither and use my thithers to reach that effect. But yeah. Why did my folks never told me I have a brother? I don't know. Probably because they were worried about what people would think. As far as my family goes, that was like a national pastime. Worrying about being judged by others. Anyway, there we are. I think that's good. It really doesn't. It really stands on its own too. Noodles, legs. I don't know. Rotato, do your stuff. Yeah, cool. Thanks for watching. Thanks again to James from Lakeside, California for shooting this over. Yeah, Gompaghetti. If you find this and you like creamy stuff, this is a good one. Finally, the last one I'm doing today, which will probably post tomorrow, and seeing as you're in April, you're gonna have to do the Wayback Machine. But this is Nissin. If you type this in, you'll find it. Nissin Hot and Spicy Firewok Sichuan Screamin' Sichuan beef. Okay, so that will be. I'm going to do that next, but that'll have already posted by the time you see this, and you'll see something that would have posted tomorrow, or yeah, what would have posted tomorrow for me, posted tomorrow for I. This has been Odds the Ramen Raider, wishing you enjoyment of your noodles each and every day and a lack of confusion. Have a good one. Bye-bye.